Thank you so much, everyone. I extend my hearty welcome to you once again to Session 1A, Banking System Regional Context. The first speaker to go in this session is none other than Ms. Kim Guite, CGM and BORBI Bhubaneswar. Madam, please.
Okay, good afternoon. Thank you for this opportunity. Respected dignitaries in the dais and members of chambers, Utkal Chambers of Commerce, all the participants. This afternoon, I think in the inaugural session, we have seen and the opportunities that we will be looking into in the next 2 days. I have seen the program lineup and then the topics, very interesting, and I think there's a lot to deliberate and learn. And then as members of Chambers of Commerce, you will be looking at a lot of the opportunities that are coming your way, opportunities. And I think to start with this session, before you dwell into the investment opportunities and also other avenues that you will be looking into, the financing part and the investment avenues, I will be starting with the end of it in case of when things go wrong, then where to go, and also what are the areas which needs to be looked into when you enter into investment avenues, when you deal with banks, some of the areas which needs to be looked into as entrepreneurs, as business houses. So those things I will be looking into it. Can we make the presentation come up? Many of you, I have seen my former senior colleagues sitting in the room, and then it's going to be it's a lot of pressure on me to deliver this session. Anyway, I will attempt to deal with what alternative grievance redressal RBI has put in place. We are in the 2021, Reserve Bank has come up with the Reserve Bank Integrated Ombudsman Scheme, 2021 we call it. I think last week in the announcement, RBI policy announcement, if some of you have followed it, RBI governor has announced about the review of the ombudsman scheme. And I think a couple of days ago, if you go to the RBI website, you will see a draft guideline that is put up in place. You can look into it, and that it is also open for feedback and suggestions. So anyone keen to look into in detail, you can please go look and study the draft scheme and then give your feedback. Just to refresh ourselves with how the Ombudsman Scheme framework has evolved over the years. It started in 1995. That was covering just commercial and some scheduled cooperative banks. And the focus was mediation in the form of a mediation that was outside the Reserve Bank of India. It was for the customer and the bank to come together and come to a kind of mediation. And then it was fine-tuned, and then it was extended to RRBs and the subsidiary banks. In 2022, and arbitration powers were also included in the scheme. And then after that, in 2006, there was a huge revamp wherein till 2005, till 2002 scheme, it was outside Reserve Bank of India. Then the RBI took over it with the staffing and including the implementation of the scheme, a 2006 scheme, and then the compensation was introduced with 20 lakh for loss and 1 lakh for mental agony. Can you go to the next slide? Yeah. Then in 2018, with the NBFCs playing a key role, it was there was a felt need that the grievance redressal for NBFCs also needs to be included. So NBFCs, deposit taking, other NBFCs having asset side, the large NBFCs, we call it with asset size of more than 100 crore. They were also brought under the ambit, and this was separately running. NBFC Ombudsman scheme was running separately, concurrently to say. And it was the digital payments were brought in 2019. And in 2021, under the One Nation, One Ombudsman scheme, this integrated ombudsman scheme, wherein all the NBFCs, banking, NBFCs, and payments, non-bank payment systems, participants, they were also brought under the integrated ombudsman scheme from 2021, that is running at the moment. As I said, the draft review is on the website, RBI website. You can look into that. Few operational changes and enhancements have been proposed. So the under One Nation, One Ombudsman scheme, we have this is a centralized managed system, and at Chandigarh we call it Centralized Receipt and Processing Center, and we have a complaint management system under which all the regulated entities, that is the public sector banks, the private sector banks, small finance banks, deposit taking NBFCs, NBFCs with asset size of 100 crores and above, payments participants, and credit information companies were also brought under the dragnet. And this is all types of complaints are being redressed under the ombudsman scheme. Can we go to the next slide? So this is, I have talked about the framework. So that, can you go to the next again? Now, I just want us to work through the alternate grievance redressal mechanism. At the outset, I want to say that grievance redressal starts with the regulated entity at the whatever financial institute you are dealing with. So RBI in the Ombudsman scheme is alternate grievance redressal mechanism. So when your regulated entity, when your financial intermediary is not able to address your grievance, that is when the Ombudsman scheme comes in. You can approach the RBI Ombudsman, and that is involving, you may have so many issues with the financial institutions, including banks, but the Ombudsman scheme also, I want to highlight, is that it deals with complaints that is specific to involvement of service deficiency in banking services. So you have to first approach your bank or financial institution, and the bank has to resolve your grievance within 30 days. So if the bank fails to reply, or you are not satisfied with the service or the response or the resolution that the bank gives, then you can approach the RBI Ombudsman. Your complaint, another thing is, as I said, it's an integrated under one ombudsman, one nation, one ombudsman scheme. Where there are 24 ombudsmen located across the country. Odisha is one. And then your complaint can go to any of the RBI ombudsmen. But largely, I think Odisha as a state is all India standard. It is deficient in terms of number of complaints. So I think 99% of our Odisha complaints generally come to me, that is to my office. And we get complaint from other regions because by virtue of the fact that the level of complaints and the number of complaints, the flow is much higher coming from, that is being registered from other geographies. So that sense, I don't know whether banks are doing a good job or whether there is a lack of awareness in it. So Odisha as of now is, in terms of the level of complaints is, in terms of all India standards, it is deficient. So that is one of the reasons why my team and we go and conduct awareness programs that RBI Ombudsman scheme is there in case you have grievances. And my coming here to address you is also to make you aware that there is a platform in case of service deficiencies. Your grievances can be registered with the Ombudsman. So the framework, can we go to the next slide? That is, okay, yeah, it's already there. So complaint, we said it has to be a service deficiency. Many complaints I received that I want a settlement. Please help me to settle, or please, I want an enhancement in loan. That is not a service deficiency. Our ombudsman will not be looking into it. Those are commercial decisions. So that is outside the purview of it. So it is specifically, as mentioned here in the slide, if you can see, is a shortcoming or an inadequacy in the financial systems. That is what we look into. And another thing is, you can file a complaint through an authorized representative. You can authorize someone on your behalf to file and follow up the complaint, but not through an advocate. Okay, because this is an alternate redressal mechanism, so advocate, the legal system is kept outside its purview. The compensation, the amount involved can be, there is no limit specified in the scheme, the amount of dispute, but in case of consequential loss, the limit is 20 lakhs as of now. And for mental harassment, mental anguish, agony, other things, the ombudsman power is up to 1 lakh compensation. And the proceedings are summary in nature. We will not be going into we are not an investigating agency, but we will be going based on the guidelines, based on the submissions, based on the available documents that is presented by both the complainant and the regulated entity on the other side. Whenever I say regulated entity, it includes whatever entities that are regulated by RBI and is brought under the ombudsman scheme. That can be NBFCs, that can be payment aggregators, and small finance banks and things like that. So that is why we keep saying the word regulated entity. So some complaints will not be covered under the scheme, that we will be rejecting it, that is, which are already filed directly without going through the regulated entity. So you cannot come directly to the ombudsman with your grievance. First, you have to necessarily take up with your bank or your regulated entity. Only when they fail to resolve, then you can come, as I have already said before. And then the complaints that is relating to the commercial decisions, we will not be looking into it. And then if it is dispute between you, the vendor, you and the vendor or the regulated entity, if it is of business disputes, we will not be looking into it. And then if you have taken up with any other authority or some statutory body, enforcement authority has already looked into it. For example, like currently, we are saddled with debit freezing of accounts on account because of fraudulent transactions and because of complaint through this I4C and other law enforcement authorities. The banks will put a hold on your account. In such cases, we will not be able to look into it because another enforcement authority is dealing with it. And then complaints that are in the nature of suggestions, guidance, such we will not be dealing with. And then that is not, if it is not addressed directly to the ombudsman also, we may reject it. Okay. So now I want to just highlight what are the charter of, as a customer, what are your rights. And your right, the first right is, of course, you have the right to fair treatment, and there must you have the right to be treated with respect, without discrimination, on the grounds of either gender, age, religion, or physical ability. So this is your right. And you have the right to transparency, fair and honest dealing. So you have the right to be explained as to what are the terms and conditions. And then the bank has the obligation, it is your right and the bank's or the regulated entity's obligation to make you understand what are the terms and conditions and what are the securities that are involved, what are the benefits and the interest rate. And they have to disclose without any misleading or, unmasking or any unfair influence in this. Right to suitability. I think we had in the inaugural session, we have Mr. Debashish Panda was also there, and I think the insurance schemes were also talked about. One of our main very high level of complaints that we receive that also pertains to Orissa is about the banks, the breach of right to suitability. The financial products you will be dealing with in your investments, and whether the financial products are suitable for you, that assessment is the duty of the regulated entities, and for them to explain, and for them also to assess you, particularly those of you who are senior citizens. I get a lot of complaints from senior citizens on this, that whether the products that are sold to you are suitable for you, or it is as per your needs and requirements. The banks and the entities have to suitably assess and accordingly advise you, and then also establish that you have understood what you are purchasing, you have understood what you have got into it. So that right to suitability you have. And of course the right to privacy, very important, that your information is confidential, and then disclosure without your consent is, I think now DPDP has also come. So this is to protect you from any unwanted or intrusive communication. And the right to grievance, redress and compensation. So the regulated entities are to provide you an avenue so that your grievances are addressed, and then in case of loss, in case of they should have a policy for compensation which are clear and which are easily accessible, like in case of delays or misconduct. So banks are to have a proper compensation policy, and then which they should offer to you. And incidentally, most of my complaints hovers around the breach of these rights, these 5 rights which we just discussed about. Okay, now that we have looked at the rights, let's also, as a customer, I want you to know that you also have a duty and responsibility. One is that your account security in protection is yours. I have very high number of complaints. I didn't get the percentage, but very high chunk of my complaints is about fraudulent transactions, and compromise of OTPs and passwords, and clicking to malicious links, and also transfer to unintended beneficiaries. What zaps me is when we are dealing with very affluent business entrepreneurs and huge amounts are involved. Why do we have so many cases of remitting to the wrong unintended beneficiary is something which is very concerning. So guard your credentials, So your personal numbers, your PINs are yours, and then you are responsible for them. And RBI guidelines itself says that before you report, whatever happens, if you had provided your OTPs, PINs, the liability, the responsibility remains yours. And let me tell you from a first-hand experience that a lot of people lost a huge amount of money in which as an ombudsman it pains, but we can do little, because the duty first lies with the customer. So it is so important to safeguard your checkbooks, debit cards, credit cards, and also whatever, if anything happens, please report to the banks or the regulated entities at the earliest. And financial and transactional duties, always ensure that there is sufficient funds to cover your liabilities, particularly when you have given standing instructions. It is so important that there is sufficient balance in your account, and of course timely debt payment. As responsible citizens, it doesn't have, the importance cannot be underscored. And there is accuracy and disclosure. Provide truthful data, accurate and complete information pertaining to your KYCs. Make sure that your KYCs are always updated. Comply with them. And many of the fraudulent transactions happen because of incomplete KYC, and that is where your KYC, and if you don't complete it, there is also the risk of it being misused. You may not be aware of it, but your bank accounts can be misused. It can be used as a conduit by people if you are not carefully watching and be vigilant about it. Review and compliance. Read the instructions and terms and conditions when you enter into business. When you go to a bank, don't be overzealous to just get the sanction and get the money. Please read, and please take time to read the schedules, the terms and conditions, because for the MSME class group of complaints, this is one of the most prevalent areas. Okay, after the relationship has turned sour, and then when you come to the ombudsman, the bank comes and tells me this is what he has signed. And then you say, I was not aware at that time. But I remember my proceedings are summary in nature. I go by what is given to me. I go by what is available. I cannot come inside your head and say, oh, you were not aware at that point of time. So that is why this responsibility, this duty is very important. Let me emphasize it. Please understand the terms and conditions, what is written. If you don't understand, take some time, sit down with the banks, and then even if they're in a hurry, you don't be in a hurry to sign. You understand it, and see that the fee schedules are transparently disclosed and you are in agreement. Monitor your statements and then verify, and then there will be conditions where banks will give conditions for you to comply. Even if they don't follow up and monitor, please see to it that you comply with those. And it's always, in addition to having a good repayment schedule, it's always important that you abide by the banking laws and the regulations that are in place. And I have not included in the guideline, in the presentation, but remember that there is a credit information companies, or your loan details go to credit information companies, and then your credit score hampers if your payment is not on time, and if there is undue delay, and if there are irregularities. So a good payment history is very essential. Okay, I'll stay. So can we go to the next slide? Just to say that this is the guideline. This is for MSMEs. This is a guideline. This was a guideline where there was a bit of gray area, and Reserve Bank has come up with new directions which will be applicable from January 2026, because when you move to, when you try to switch over your facilities to other banks, I think one of the problems, the bank comes and says your concessional interest rate, it will be recovered, and then you have to pay huge prepayment penalty charges. So this has been an area where at the Ombudsman, we try to help as much as possible. We have always been in favor of the MSMEs, considering that it is the national importance that is given to it. And the BCSBI code that is in place, but then the BCSBI code, many, particularly NBFCs and small finance banks, were not signatories. So now RBI has come up with the new directions which will be applicable from January 1, 2026, wherein for floating rate loans, there will be on non-business loans for individuals, there will be no prepayment penalties. That has been done away with, and also for I think for floating rate loans, basically I think the lock-in period has also been done away with, and and retrospective charges or fees that are waived have also been done away with. And then any charges that are not disclosed in the key fact statement at the time of sanction or review, that has also been done away with. Okay. So as I said, This is the, you can get a sense of the complaint, how we get complaint from Orissa. This is Orissa specific. I think till, maybe this is till September position, that is the ones in the bracket is. You can see that in what is this eastern part, right? No, in western part you can see that the number of complaints is very low. So the need for, I think this is a good indication of, as we talk about Viksit Bharat and Viksit Orissa, the areas where development needs to go, I think it also highlights which areas need, where are the potentials for further expansion. So this, with this I will leave you all. Only one more slide I have, that is, maybe you all are aware, but just to tell you that you can file the complaint, lodge the complaint online. The link is https://cms.rbi.org.in. We also have a contact center, and the number is 14448. Yeah, this is about what I can say. Orissa, under Ombudsman Orissa, the complaint that we deal with from Orissa specific is about, I think it's about 60% of it. Okay, so thank you for giving me this opportunity. And then I wish you all to have, now that you know that there is an alternate grievance redressal mechanism going forward with the rights and responsibilities, I wish you all the best as you deliberate on the rest of the session. Thank you very much.